Hi, I'm Stephanie Jaworski of joyofbaking.com. Today we're going to make butter tarts, which are a delicious combination of pastry with a buttery sweet filling. The first thing we need to do is make the pastry. There is a pie crust recipe along with a video on the site that shows you both how to make the pastry and how to roll it out. Once you have it rolled out quite thinly, like 1/8 of an inch, just very thick, we're going to cut out 12 4-inch, that's 10 centimeter rounds. And then we're going to put the rounds into a muffin pan, 12-cup muffin pan. And then you just take the pastry round, I have one cut out here, and just put it in like so. So you can either use, I've got a 4-inch cookie cutter here, or you could just use a glass that's about that size. And then just cut out your rounds. And if you have to, if you find it sticking, you can just kind of dredge the bottom of your cutter in some flour. And then just gather up your scraps and re-roll. Get the rest. If you find your pastry is really soft and sticking to your counter, you could always just wrap this up and pop it back into the refrigerator for, 10-15 minutes to chill it. As you can see, this is just like making cutout cookies. This pastry uses butter called a pâté brisé. You could, if you have another type of pastry that you like, you can just use your own, or you could even use a store-bought pastry. Always roll from the center out and turning, and then if you have to add more flour to your counter so it doesn't stick, or your rolling pin, just keep doing that. Okay, so I'm just going to fit all these down in. If you wanted to, you could use little individual tart pans if you have those. Okay, so there we go. So now just cover your pan and put it in the refrigerator somewhere between 30 and 60 minutes because we want this, the tart shells to chill before we add the filling. So now we're going to make the butter tart filling. If you have a stand mixer, use the paddle attachment, or you just use a hand mixer. To start, you need 1/3 cup, about 70 grams of butter, and have that at room temperature. And I'm just going to beat that until it's smooth. Okay. And then add 1 cup that's about 210 grams of light brown sugar. And just beat those together until it's nice and smooth. Okay, and then we're going to beat in 2 large eggs, one at a time, and just mix one in and then add the other one. Scrape down if you need to. And then 1 teaspoon of pure vanilla extract, beat that in. And then 1/4 cup, 60 milliliters of cream, a light cream, or like half and half, or you could even use milk here. And just beat that in. Okay, simple enough. You could even do this by hand very easily. So, what I'll do is just pour it into this measuring cup, something with a spout, that'll make it easier. Just make sure that's all mixed in there. Okay. These butter tarts are remarkably similar to a pecan tassie. If you add pecans, it'd be about the same thing. So if you like, you could put in the bottom just some either chopped nuts, but you need a half a cup, about 120 milliliters of chopped nuts. You could use walnuts or pecans, and you could also use raisins if you'd want, and just put a few in the bottom if you like. I waffle a bit on if I like a filling or whether I like nuts or raisins, and then just pour in the filling. Make sure your tart shell's nice and chilled. Just enough filling here. Okay, so into the oven for about 15-20 minutes. You want the pastry crust to be browned and the filling to be set. Okay, our butter tarts are now done. So this is what you're looking for. The filling has puffed up and it's nice and set, and the pastry is browning around the edges. Now we will have to let these cool completely, and then I will show you how to remove them from the pan. So our butter tarts have now cooled. As you will notice, the filling, which puffed up quite a bit as the butter tarts were baking, has now sunk back down, and that's the way it should be. So then, with a flat edge spatula, or you could just use a sharp knife, just go around the edge, just to make sure that the pastry or the filling, if it ran over a bit, is not sticking to the sides of the pan. And you want to let these cool completely so that the pastry has firmed up so that you can, you don't want them all falling apart as you try to get them out of the pan. And then just take your knife or spatula and lift it down like so. As you can see, the pastry has turned a nice brown, and the filling is lovely golden brown. So you can serve these either warm, room temperature, or even cold, and they will keep several days. So until next time, I'm Stephanie Jaworski of JoyBaking.com.